Hi. So, why is it important to use a typewriter? Well, it depends on your priorities. So, it's important if you want to become a great writer. If you're writing on a computer, some people say it's far more convenient. I can save all these files. I can have spell check and all these things. That's true. And also, do you realize a computer is kind of co-opting your intelligence and usurping your voice? I mean, how many of the thoughts you're typing are Google's thoughts versus your own? Do you know the Latin roots of words? Do you even remember how to spell? It's important. I won a lot of spelling bees as a child, and when I started writing on a computer, I forgot how to spell. So when I started writing on a typewriter 20 years ago, I had to relearn. Like, what have you forgotten? What do you need to relearn? How exceptional are you at focusing? Focusing is one of the primary superpowers in the world today. Many billionaires will attest to that. What is a better focusing tool for writing? A typewriter? Where you sit here, what are you going to do on this? Are you going to go on social media? Are you going to Google something random? I mean, you can still straighten up your desk and you can do little things. However, if you just sit your ass in a chair or stand in front of your typewriter, you're going to write. I'm surprised when people say like typewriters are stupid, man. Why would I use a typewriter? It's so inconvenient. Okay, that's also true. What are you giving up for convenience, though? It's kind of like that Khalil Gibran quote. Verily I say unto you, the lust for comfort murders the passions of the soul and walks grinning through the funeral. So what does that mean to you? It means people give up their privacy, their hopes, their dreams for a little more convenience. So I encourage you not to fall into that trap. Stay. This is already more convenient than writing with, let's say, a pen, isn't it? It's just we've gone a few steps further. However, the quality of writing has invariably declined. It's definitely changed. It's more verbose and heavily edited, which means it's less tapped into sort of archetypal unconscious and primal drives. So I started playing with a typewriter because all of my favorite writers use a typewriter. And then to my astonishment, I found that some of my favorite contemporary writers still used a typewriter. Thomas Pynchon being a huge one, and Henry Miller up into like the 70s and 80s, and Lawrence Durrell, and a lot of kind of these old school guys. It's just you can see the voice of humanity declining somewhat as AI or whatever you want to call it sort of infiltrates the intelligence. So if you want to reinvent yourself as a writer that is human in most you and rediscover your voice, I suggest trying a typewriter. If you want to succumb to becoming something of a commodity, choose a little digital avatar and start writing what Google suggests you write or what the friggin' Google Doc suggests you fill in there. I mean, when I do talk to type, whatever's listening is always wrong. Like maybe I'm mumbling and maybe I use words in a creative way so that they can't be predicted. That's that's supposed to be a flaw. I mean, the computer tells me that's a flaw. I can't recognize what you're saying. No, I mean it's human. It's nice that we have a language we can share. And what does a creative writer do? They find a way to use language in innovative ways. I hope that AI algorithm never catches up to those of us that are on this quest to remain human and become more and more human and more fulfilled in life. So that's, you know, I sell and refurbish typewriters, and I don't. I'm not attached to you getting a typewriter from me. Just find one and start using it, and tell me this is not true. That you become a clear writer. Now, there's a little bit of a lag time. It takes a little bit of time to catch up to the machine, or to slow down, and to let yourself be with the machine. So I'm not saying return to writing with pointy sticks in the dirt. This is a machine that's highly refined. This one's from the 1950s. There's this sort of golden era of typewriters when they reach their pinnacle of like quality and engineering. And then the engineering starts to maintain through the 80s, but the quality starts to decline because they start to make pieces more out of plastic. So that's just a personal preference, really. You can grab any machine and write on anything. Like, see this 1912 Hammond number 12? I like it's 1212. That's what J.R. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings on. Not this exact machine, but this model. Are you kidding me? Look at that thing. We'd have all kinds of excuses like my MacBook Pro is freezing a little bit, so I can't finish my novel. Seriously? This thing has all kinds of issues regularly. You'd be tinkering with the machine. However, when you got into flow states, you'd be 1,000 times more effective, if less efficient. So maybe you lose some efficiency, but you gain in effectiveness and focus and all these things. So that's just what I want you to consider, is just drop preconventions. Like I went to public school, for instance, and my daughter's in a Waldorf school. So what I do now is I try to drop all of the crap I learned that was limiting. Creativity, finances, like growth, evolution, psychology. It's all the indoctrination system to limit you, right? So free yourself, free your mind, free yourself from the prison of machines. Social media has its pros and cons. One of the cons is that it decreases human attention span down to 3 minutes or 15 seconds or whatever it's going to be next. So how do you broaden and raise that again? I mean, there's still people doing long form podcasts and posts, 3 hours and such, and millions of viewers. So there is this piece of the human mind, perhaps residual, that's still interested in profound growth and deep content and exploring beyond pithy little memes. And that's where you enter this place. People also use these typewriters for social media, writing little posts in an engaging, interesting way. Fine. That's not the primary gift you'll receive from using a typewriter, though. The primary gift is a clarity of focus, effectiveness of moving from one thought to the other. You'll actually notice your thoughts clarifying in life in general, because you start to hash everything together on a computer. You know, you can swap it around later. Maybe you never do. Maybe you forget that. Maybe it's just reliance too heavily on that machine. Here you'll start to be like, oh, A to B, B to C, and you'll start to think 15 steps ahead like a chess player, and then more steps ahead as you start to embrace visible, tangible letters being created under the weight of your fingers. It's a magical process. So again, I'm Stephen Budden. I operate a few enterprises, and Classic Typewriter is one of them. Let me know if you have questions. I hope this helps. Thank you.